Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video or any other videos that I have posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. In this video, I would like to show you a mushroom that I recently discovered. It's called a tremella mushroom. And this mushroom is very interesting because it looks almost like a sponge. And when you put it in water, which is necessary to hydrate this mushroom, it sucks up fluid just like a sponge. This mushroom is well known in Chinese traditional medicine because it has been used in herbal medical preparations. This mushroom is known to boost the immune system, and it has a property in resist different kind of diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, and kidney diseases. Now, whether it is true, I'm not sure. However, I'm interested in the flavor of this mushroom, and I decided I'm going to give it a try. After I hydrate it, I cut it into small pieces. I'm going to use some of it for today's dish. The second ingredient that I would like to introduce to you is a soy tofu puff. It's a fried tofu, and it's fried in very high temperature. And the end result is that the outside of the tofu has a nice crispy texture, but the inside of the tofu actually is almost like a sponge. I remember eating this tofu when I was a kid, and now I am really delighted to be able to find this tofu again. Now, you need to hydrate this tofu, so I'm going to first add some of my Walk with Tak basic seasoning mix. And then I follow this by adding some boiling hot water. The water will hydrate this tofu, and the seasoning mix will penetrate into the tofu and give it a great, nice flavor. This tofu is very iconic in many Chinese dishes. And both my wife and I really love tofu. And once I figured out how to cook this tofu, I prefer this tofu to any other kind of tofu. And if you have not tried before, you should give it a try. Now, I use template-based cooking, and which makes it easy because I don't need to use a recipe. And for this dish, I basically cook in such a way to create a vegetable medley, of course, and then I add the tofu. Now, to cook this dish, I'm going to start out with some Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts, and Brussels sprouts takes a little bit time to cook. At this point, I also add some fermented black soybean, which serve as a condiment to season the dish. Now, the Brussels sprout is my primary vegetable, but I'm going to also add some broccoli. Now, the wonderful thing about advanced prepping is that I have all these vegetables already in the refrigerator. So basically, I can pick and choose and decide which vegetable that I'm going to use. And I'm going to also add a few pieces of carrot. This will be my complementary or secondary vegetable. And then this is followed by with some purple cabbage or red cabbage. What I have created here is a vegetable medley. Vegetable medley is probably the best way to eat vegetables because by having different kinds of vegetables in the dish, it makes the dish far more interesting than if you have only one or two different kinds of vegetables. Now, in a vegetable medley, I always choose one vegetable as the primary vegetable, and in this case, it's the Brussels sprout. Next, I'm ready to add some shiitake mushroom, which I have hydrated and cut it into thin slices. Again, it is part of my advanced prepping. I only use what I need. And this is followed by the addition of the tremella mushroom. One of the advantages of stir frying is that you can control the texture of the ingredients in your dish by adding them at different times. If you want the vegetable to cook longer, you add them in the beginning of the cooking process. However, if you want to cook them for a shorter time period, you can add it later. And once you get a feel how long you want to cook the vegetable, you can create a dish that all the vegetables are cooked to exact texture that you like. Next, I'm going to add the tofu to the wok. I'm also going to include some shrimp in this dish. I'm going to use the shrimp as a condiment rather than as the main ingredients. So I'm going to use some jumbo shrimp, but I'm going to use only 5 shrimp. And this will be just enough for my wife and I. And we both will have 2 shrimp, and I will have 1 left if I have any food left. This will be my lunch tomorrow. This are jumbo shrimp with shell, and the shell is referred to the easy peel, means that they can come off very easily. I find that it's much better to cook shrimp with shell because the shell protects the shrimp. During storage in the freezer, the shell will prevent the shrimp from getting freezer burn. As well as when you cook the shrimp with shell on, you have much better control of the texture of the shrimp because it will cook slower, and consequently the shrimp tend to be more moist and tender. And now the dish is almost done. I'm going to season the dish first with some oyster sauce. Oyster sauce is frequently my go-to sauce. It kind of forms the basic foundation of the flavor of the dish. For this dish, I'm also going to season it with a black bean chili sauce, which is a sauce that I normally do not use that much. But I decided for today, I just had a feel that this might work well with this dish. Now, there are many different ways you can season your dish. And I think the best way is to experiment with different seasoning agents that you have available. And of course, for stir frying, sauces are the best way to season your dish. Because stir frying, everything cooks so quickly. With the sauce, you can impart flavor on your dish almost instantly. I usually have a collection of different types of sauces. And after I start with some basic sauces, I will do a taste test. And from that, I will decide how to make additional justified modifications. And for this dish, I decided that I would like to add a bit more sweetener to the dish, so I add some hoisin sauce. Now, hoisin sauce have a sweet flavor, but it also provides savoriness to the dish because of the umami molecule in the hoisin sauce. So it's much better to use hoisin sauce in comparison than, for example, using sugar instead. Now, the taste testing is important to achieve the flavor that you want. And I also find the taste test is extremely valuable for you to understand the flavor profile of different sauces and how they interact with different type of food ingredients in your dish. Because different food ingredients will interact with the sauces slightly differently. And in time, once you gain that experience, you will find seasoning a dish almost intuitively, and you will find it enjoyable, as well as have a lot of fun in making changes each time when you cook to suit the flavor of the ingredients as well as your personal preference at the time. Now, this dish is very fast and quick to cook, and by using a template, I do not need to have a recipe. In fact, cooking this dish only takes about 7 to 8 minutes. Now, this is a very simple dish from the standpoint of the cooking process. But there's a lot of food ingredients in this dish. For example, I have 4 different kinds of vegetables and 2 different types of mushroom. From flavor standpoint, this dish has wonderful flavor. Both mushroom, the shiitake, as well as the tremella mushroom, taste wonderful. And I really enjoy the tremella mushroom. I think this is something that I probably will use consistently. However, each time when you decided on a flavor of a dish, you will always able to file it away in your mental flavor library, because next time you can make changes accordingly. Vegetable medley is probably the best way to eat more vegetables. And in this dish, the different kinds of vegetables create an assortment of texture that would not be possible if you only cook with 1 or 2 kinds of vegetables. In this dish, we basically have 6 different kinds of vegetables, and they work with each other and create nice contrast. Now, each time when you cook dishes like this, you will start to realize that the possibility to make changes. And the more you cook, the more you adapt to adjust the flavor of the dish to achieve the flavor that you want. So from this standpoint, I encourage you to do advanced prepping, because advanced prepping will help you to create vegetable medley like this almost effortlessly. Just imagine if you have to prep all the ingredients from scratch. It would take much longer to cook this dish. And for this reason, efficiency is truly a very important aspect of home cooking, particularly if you want to cook dishes that are interesting, unusual, and unique. And the reason that I post a video each day and to show you what I cook each night for dinner, this gives you opportunity to see what is feasible in your kitchen. After you have some practice and you become adapted with stir frying, you will find not a problem at all. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.